So I have to admit, I'm probably the new kid on the block with regard to all the interviews that you might see on this 50th anniversary commemoration, being only my third, starting on my fourth year here at Corpus Christi. But I have been so struck just in my 3-4 years here of the incredible vitality and energy and mission of this incredible parish. A parish that for the last 22 years or so, people have walked in to these doors at this church here on Dorr Street, but even long before that, for the 30 years or so before that, we're gathering on campus in sort of a pilgrim church. And so the energy and vitality and the mission of this parish is something that I have just been privileged to be able to see in just the few years that I've been here. I often think of Jesus's image that you can judge a tree by its fruit. And so I didn't see the planting of the tree. I didn't even see the early trunk of the tree, but I've been privileged to see the fruit, which tells me that it was built on an incredible foundation for the last 50 years of so many faith-filled, hardworking people, priests, lay people, parishioners, all working together to serve the permanent community as well as the students, faculty, and staff at the University of Toledo. And so there are countless stories of how this parish over the last 50 years has impacted and touched the lives of students, faculty, and staff at the University of Toledo and beyond. This video, I just hope, is a sampling. We can't capture it all, but I hope it's a sampling of the various people that have been touched in their faith lives and beyond by Corpus Christi University Parish.
I started to come to Corpus Christi in the late 80s, and Corpus Christi means everything to me. This is where my husband and I met. We weren't even students, but we found this to be a great community.
The 12 years that I was at Corpus Christi were the best years of my ministry as a priest. Most significant, most challenging, most creative, because of the opportunities that existed to do the leadership development, to help with the peace and justice stuff, to help appropriating the faith and forming conscience, forming faith community, to developing leaders for the future. All of those are aspects of campus ministry.
I've been on the staff here for 33 years, so I'll be retiring in 2 years. Some people have asked me what happens after that, and I'm planning on continuing to be at Corpus Christi. And it's because of the community. I think that's the first word that comes to mind when I think about Corpus Christi. It's a unique community. We're made up of permanent community members that come from all over the place, and they choose to come here with the understanding that they need to support the mission, and they do that very generously with not only their financial commitment, but their time and their talent.
Praying with that community week in and week out, and particularly on the special occasions, like being able to celebrate the Easter Vigil and bring a multitude of people into the church celebrating the sacraments, that provides great memories for me.
What Corpus Christi means to me is a home away from home and a family away from family. When I came as a student, it was a place to go and know I was welcome every week and have connections with people. And those connections grew into my actual family. So it's also the place where my family now started. It's the place where I've seen my kids be baptized and grow. And it's a place where hopefully truly it will remain at the core of not only myself and my husband, but also my kids.
In my mind, Corpus Christi exists to serve the University of Toledo, to bring the light of Christ to all the people who are there, and help the students find a spiritual home. It's a very sensitive, it's a very difficult, challenging transition in their lives to move from home, to move from everywhere that's been comfortable to them, where they were known, where they grew up, and to come to a brand new place, and to be able to help them spiritually transition, to live in their Catholic faith here, to grow in their Catholic faith, was really something that I was very privileged to be a part of. See students grow up to make their faith an adult faith. Oftentimes when students are learning about the faith as a small child, things are very simple. But when they get older and they get to college, they're making really tough, stressful decisions and dealing with some really tough ethical questions and the challenges the world throws at us. And so to help them see the world through a Catholic lens, so all the Christian values, teachings of Jesus, to be inspirational to them, to be relevant to them, that was what we did here. That's what Corpus Christi still does today. And it helps them be adults in their faith. So they have an adult understanding. So it's not just simple things, it's not just a myth or a fairy tale, but their faith is alive. It has to do with who Jesus is and how he's working in the world today.
I've been a member of Corpus Christi Parish since about 1983. Corpus Christi has been sort of a spiritual home for me. I mean, it's been my parish. I've been probably, let me see, I think all that time I was involved with the music group.
I've been a parishioner here for a little over 30 years. And for me, Corpus Christi is this vibrant community of students and families and permanent community members, a place where you're fed spiritually, intellectually, socially. And for me, it's just been like a second home.
This has been my spiritual home for those 38 or 39 years. I think my two of my spiritual mentors are Father BACIK and Father Zach. Especially Father Zach had a huge impact on my life and helped me at a time when I really needed to grow out of sort of more of an infantile faith to a very mature faith. I met my late wife here in a Bible study. A lot of my friends who I have kept over the years are friends that I met here. And I think I chose to go into Catholic education, which I have been doing for the last 35 years because of my experience here at Corpus Christi.
I have really been coming to Corpus Christi since the early 80s, 1983. I feel that I have been very blessed to be a member here because of the remarkable exposure to the number of priests that have passed and pastored here. Starting with Father BACIK, Father Zach, Monsignor BILLIAN, Father Phil Smith, and now Jeremy Miller. I consider them a remarkable group of priests, and they have impacted myself and my family's daily life on a regular basis.
I've been associated with Corpus Christi University Parish since my college days. My husband and I actually completed our pre-Cana classes with Father Kirkland.
I would say up until 28 years ago, my relationship with the Catholic Church was sort of intermittent, and I was frustrated, ready to sort of just forget about it. And a friend invited me to Corpus Christi. The day we came, several people welcomed us, we knew them, and the second Sunday that I came, a friend asked me to volunteer, or my husband and I to volunteer to present for Marriage Encounter, or Engaged Encounter, I'm sorry, Engaged Encounter. And that got us involved in the church right away. Through the church, we became leaders of the Engaged Encounter for 20 years, and that was very rewarding. We would find later, we'd meet people that were in our class as engaged couples, and meet them later as parents of children that were coming back on occasion to Corpus Christi to just be in a place that they loved and that they appreciated.
It's been a privilege to be a small part of helping to build the legacy that has gone on for 50 years. And we've been, I think, very blessed with the pastors that we've had, because they've come with a vision and they have helped to enhance the legacy as we've gone along.
It's a very spiritually enriching community, and the wonderful music only enhances our experience. and we feel like this is a great community to be a part of.
In the beginning, I think I came more for the companionship and the support and the routine of knowing things and knowing the people that were here. Over time, it became more of a place where I knew I would get spiritual enrichment and worship and be able to express myself. And then as I became a parent, it became a place where I could know that my kids would enjoy church and pay attention in church and participate in the music.
I have to tell you that working with young people kept me young too, you know, and kept me excited about the faith.
It's a place that has been a place of growth for us and of amazing conversation and learning.
It feels like home.
Their friendship, their teaching, and their humility has always been a major factor in our lives. Combine that with the wonderful, beautiful liturgy and the activity of the community, and I think you can understand why I feel blessed being a member here.
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite memory. I don't know if I could narrow it down. I really don't. There's so many after 33 years, it's tough to narrow it down. Got a lot of good memories.
When Becca was baptized, right in here, Father BACIK, and Ben was 3. Ben went up and made the sign of the cross on her forehead. I was like, this is our home. More than our house, this is our home, and our family is taking place here.
A friend of mine was going here, and she said, oh, why don't you come there? And it happened to be close to where I was living at the time. I could walk here, so we started coming. And you know, I soon discovered we had at that time a very thriving lecture series. One of the high points, I think everybody would agree, is when we had Hans Kung, the famous and somewhat controversial theologian, come and give a lecture here, and we had to find a very large room in the university.
My very last month as pastor there, we took a pilgrimage to Italy, a group of students, and a few permanent community members too. It was a mixed, again, it was a mixed group that went on the pilgrimage. So being able to share the experiences of faith, even beyond our own community, beyond even our own country, to help them understand and enjoy that our church is a universal church. You know, you can go any corner of the world, you know, and experience Catholicism. And so we were able to do that. Now, along the way, we might have found a plate or two of pasta that we could eat and enjoy, and all the fellowship that goes along with that. So it was a great experience to be able to take a pilgrimage with members of the community.
You see, you know, the same people week after week, and you know, they've watched my kids grow up, and I've gotten to see other families grow up through the years, and it's just a great sense of belonging here.
But you know, I'd say the real key thing about Corpus Christi is it really impacted my faith in terms of that growing into a real mature and more open and progressive faith than I had at my parish church. I think my parish church, when I grew up, you know, was fine for me at the time, but I needed to go to a different level, and I think Corpus Christi was that for me, and still is.
I think we all mean it when we say all are welcome. And to me, that makes all the difference.
So, Vatican II, universal priesthood, all responsible for building up the body of Christ, everyone to do their job to spread the kingdom in the world. And I like to think of Corpus Christi as an example, a model. Not perfect, a lot of things didn't go right. We could have done a better job in many different ways, still could do better, but the intent was there and progress is there. And to tell you the truth, I was proud to be part of that for a number of decades. I think the future of Corpus Christi is bright. I think that it'll always have the base of committed people. Pope Francis understands that things don't happen so much from the top down. Pope Francis thinks they happen from the bottom up. And when you have committed students, you have committed faculty members and administrators, when you have a permanent community that cares about the parish, and we're trying to live out their own Catholic faith, then I think the future is in good hands.
Corpus Christi Parish is a place where the church can become a sign and an instrument of God's kingdom in the academic world. And I think that's a good place to be.
You stay true to the Holy Spirit, that parish will, in 100 years, might look very different. The programming might look very different. But what will be the same is the people of God, students, faculty and staff of the university, permanent community members gathered around that altar, celebrating the Eucharist, reaching out to each other in support and love, reaching beyond the community to do good works for the people who are in need, particularly the poor and underserved. That's going to be there. It's going to stay. It might look a little different, but staying true to the Spirit of God, that parish will be great and strong.
Hopefully, continued growth and a permanent community that is as committed as our current one.
I hope that it just continues to be a vibrant community and that it, provides that spiritual home for the students of the university and for the greater community.
Part of Corpus Christi, and my very favorite day of Corpus Christi, is the day the students come back. Every single year. They come back in August now. They walk up these aisles, and these young people choose to come to church on their own without their parents making them. And it gives me so much hope for the future that that this faith can continue and this church can continue, and that the next generations will have what we have. I hope there's 50 or 150 more years of first day of schools, because that's the most uplifting day in this church.
It's got to be the people. I mean, it's a place where there's so much hope for the future. The college students come, you see what they're doing. It's encouraging to know that they're being raised to be faithful and good citizens of this earth. So I guess that's my favorite part, is that the permanent community supports the students, and the students give us encouragement for the future.